Welcome to the All In for Africa, number 7. I'm broadcast by Next Level Poker. We're here at Running Aces Casino Racetrack, beautiful harness racing track here in Columbus, Minnesota. And I'm actually here with, rather than my usual commentary partner and business partner Brian Soja, who's at the final table, I'm here with Steve Fredlin, who runs All In for Africa, makes all this happen, runs the best charity tournaments I've ever seen. Welcome to the broadcast, and welcome to the broadcast, Steve.
Well, thanks, Fox. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Unfortunately, I couldn't be playing, but yeah, man, it's great to be at the final table here.
It's usually you doing the broadcast and interviewing me.
It is, yeah. It's kind
of. Steve does the Rec Poker podcast every week, which is absolutely the best podcast in poker, and I don't say that just because I'm on it every week. Really good stuff. You can follow them at Rec Poker on Twitter, or find them in it's runaces/Rec Poker.
Yeah, runaces.com/Rec Poker. Yeah, I'm starting to wonder how much I'm paying you here with all of this, these kind words.
Wait till you get my bill. We've got action, and I may be moving the Twitch broadcast around a little bit. You'll see component parts in the broadcast move around a little bit. This is the first time we've done it with this setup, so we may change some things around. We've also got information on our players, and I'll put that information up. When we get down to 6 players, I'm going to put everybody's name in front of them. I might start working on that now, but it doesn't look like we have enough screen space to do that with the way the cameras are set up at this point. We've done that in the past and really liked it. So,
yeah, pretty stacked final table here. I mean, obviously you got your buddy out there, Brian Soja, who's making a nice deep run.
We know most of these guys. Vic Pepe is in C1. I know Vic pretty well. I like Vic because he's got a fox. And he flies Falcons. He's an interesting guy and a good player. Rob Meyer looks familiar to me, but I don't know him.
Yeah, I played with Rob quite a bit during Hollow Stream and some other things too. Super tough player, at least from a recreational side, yeah.
And Vic Pepe is at Vic_PEPPE. And you got Rob Meyer is at Chasen_Chips.
Jason Chips. Gus Hansen.
Gus Hansen.
Yeah, he's kind of. You know Gus at all, or it's not the Gus Hansen?
Right, different Gus Hansen.
But he's a regular on the weekly tournaments. He's
I've
a very solid player.
Before. I recognize him, but I don't know him well. And then seat 4 is Crystal Kemp, who I've played with a number of times, and she owns the Straight Flush Poker Tour.
Yeah, and they've been incredibly generous to the All In for Africa. Tournaments in the past. They donate a number of seats, and fantastic gal.
Nice. Then number 5. And you'll see these from left to right on your screen. So in about the middle of your screen, just to the right of the middle, is Brian Soja. He's at MN Pats Fan Poker. He's a big Patriots fan, but he's now from Minnesota. And Brian is my business partner here with Next Level Poker. He would usually be doing the broadcast with me. Every once in a while he gets lucky and makes a final table. And that happened today. So.
And then you have to downgrade your announcing partner.
That's right.
So hopefully Brian will buzz soon, so you guys can improve the broadcast a little bit.
I wouldn't say it's a downgrade. You know what you're doing behind the microphone.
Well, thanks.
Brian gets lost a lot. Then we have at seat 7 Chris Bellflower, who used to own the Straight Flush Poker Tour. Did he start the Straight Flush Poker Tour?
I understand that he did. Yeah, no, he used to own it, so we kind of got a Straight Flush connection here.
Yeah. He's at Bellflower, BELFLOWERGRP on Twitter.
So if there's ever been a plug for free poker, this is it. You got two of the guys heavily involved.
Guys.
Yeah.
Rocky Wiley, he's at Rocky Wiley. That's him in the blue Kicker Power hat there. We've got 2 Next Level Poker Tour hats and then a Kicker Power hat. And I actually am wearing a sweatshirt that Kicker Power made for me most of the day today. That's Jay Phillips' company.
Yep.
And then our last player, Michael Engelhoff.
Mike Engelhoff, yeah.
He can really play.
Yeah, he's actually part of my home league.
Is he?
And Doug Graybeck was as well, who busted in 10th place. So we had a couple nice finishes for our home league. And yeah, Mike's a tough player. He actually was a previous All In for Africa champion.
Oh, nice.
He won All In for Africa 5.
Wow.
So first guy looking to go back to back. Or not back to back, but to get 2 titles.
And so this is the 7th one.
Yeah.
And 2 records set this time.
Yeah, this is a big day for us for sure. Yeah, we got 151 unique entries, which is a record, topping our 140, and we raised over $18,000. So just a fantastic day.
Take over for a minute for me.
All right. Yeah, so thanks to everybody who supported us in the past, who came out today. I know a number of people are watching the live stream now that busted out earlier, so you had about the same fortune that I had. Now you get to watch it on TV. Looks like I should have been following the action a little bit here, but it looks like we've got Vic maybe opened here, either opened or reflatted. I don't know, Jordan, you look like you were following the action a little bit closer. What did you see? Oh, maybe just Vic. Well, we don't know. I'm trying to get used to the technology as well here, and we lost our pilot. So, it's like Crystal actually took that down. So I don't know if Vic was in the pot. I don't know if Crystal raised from the small blind. Maybe she shoved there over Vic's raise, but Crystal stacking chips.
Yeah, in the future, hopefully we'll have someone announcing action, but it's a little loud in here today.
It is a little loud, yeah.
Action at Running Aces.
Well, I always like the announcing, so I'm like, I watch some of the other live streams, and I always like to hear kind of what's going on, what's the take of the people behind the mic. So I'm hoping Fox can give some insights and give away like all of his secrets here today. That's my goal with the stream. So I'm hoping to ask enough questions where Fox will give away all of his secrets.
Run good, that's the secret.
That's the secret. Yeah, clearly that's what it is. I'm sure that's all it is.
I play lucky.
Yeah.
We are very interested in hearing from you on Twitch. Our players are... We're not trying to work cards so that our players can interact with you on Twitch if they want to. We can interact with you on Twitch because this is in real time. When you do hole cards, you got to delay it at least 15 minutes. We don't want to do that. We have real time so we can talk to people who are watching. So if you have questions about the stream, if you have comments about the stream, ways we can make the stream better, we want to hear about it because this is the first time we've done this way. There are definitely going to be a bunch of improvements before the next time we do it. But if you have thoughts or questions about the stream, we'd love to hear it. And you'll see things change as I move things around.
Well, let me just take a second too to say thanks for being here and covering the All for Africa tournament. You guys have been so generous, and we're just excited to be partnered with Next Level. And man, this is pretty cool technology. You play a charity tournament, for $120. You can win bounties worth up to like $600-700. You can win $4,000 for one thing, and you can be on TV. So what a pretty good deal. So what do we got here? Do we got is it Crystal and Brian sort of heads up here? Or who's in the pot? Oh, Crystal and Chris. And Crystal was on the button, and Chris from the big blind must have defended.
Mm-hmm. He will do that.
And I'm not sure what the action was, if it was just called around or if it was actually raised pre-flop.
I'm sure it was raised. The blinds are only 12.24, and there's a lot of money
in the pot. Yeah.
There's more than 100,000 in that pot for sure.
It's like Crystal sort of got some intentions here.
Crystal's taking a shot at it. Looks like she bets about 50,000.
What does Chris have there? He's got about 200K, maybe? He have one stack of orange there?
Yeah,
200K?
Yeah, he has about 200,000.
Looks like he's going to make the call here.
So he's a little over 200,000. So he calls a flop bet. He calls a turn bet. I wonder if he's on a big draw, or if he's slow playing something, or if he doesn't believe her. Those are really his only options.
Oh, I know that's kind of a spicy river card.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Might go check here. Well,
no,
so what do you think? She's pretty polarized here? I mean, she's got to have it, right?
I think she's got to have it. But how good is it? Is she going to keep betting
a 9
kings here? I don't know how experienced she is as a player.
Yeah, you just check down kings here, right? On that board. Or what do you think? Are you going for value on the king there?
I don't know. If he checks to you and you think he's just got a hand like ace-8 or something,
right?
You could bet aces here again. Seems
pretty thin to me. I don't know, but I'm not very good at attracting value, so I bet she had a big hand there.
I think so too.
I might be like
especially the small bet on the river there. That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
You probably want to fold like a 9-7 there.
And I don't know if she would bet a heart draw on the turn there. That's the thing. So that's what makes me think she maybe had like a 10-9 type of hand already.
And it's hard to comment on players' play when you don't know how they play very well.
Right.
I've been on the other side of that. I've had people try to analyze my play on television, and I know that they have no idea what I'm doing or why I'm doing it. So I know how that could be. The key is to err on the side of caution and be gentle with people, because you don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it. Right. They may have a really good reason for it. I've never been savaged on television, so I'm not too. but I wouldn't want to savage somebody when I don't know what they're doing.
Well, if any of you listen to the Rec Poker podcast, I try to be as humble as I can. Like I know there's a lot of mistakes I make, but I think I learn from you try to analyze things, and you try to get feedback from people. So I think that's a good way to try to learn is put yourself in their situation, try to guess what's happening. But more often than not, I'm going to be wrong. So it looks like Gus is involved here. I don't know if he limped. I'm guessing he probably came in for a raise, but I'm not.
And then Bellflower, it might have been a limp.
It might have just been a limp.
Called.
because Rocky's in there as well.
too? Yeah, I think that was a limp and a complete and a check.
Yeah.
That's an interesting board. I think
So do
if
you continuation bet this?
I think, well, it's not a continuation if you didn't raise in the first place.
Well, fair enough. Yeah.
You know, I'd never limp in this,
Matt Pete,
in this
Yeah,
117.
the question is really if I'm in Chris Bellflower's spot, do I bet out if I'm in a small blind? Because Rocky has no reason to hit this.
Right.
And the other guy, if he doesn't have, if Gus doesn't have something, he's got to fold. For sure, once Bellflower checks to you, I think Rocky Wiley's got to bet this.
Okay.
When you have the late position limper, he sometimes he'll have a bad ace, but sometimes he's got a pair of fours and wants to see a flop.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Or
so-
some
and you
suited
can bet-
connectors or something.
With
yeah.
this kind of polarized board, you can bet a pair of fours, or you could bet nothing, and you could bet like a third of the pot, and people will still fold unless they have it. You know?
Okay, yep.
Whereas if you if the pre-flop raiser and somebody who defends their big blind, and you bet a third of the pot, sometimes they're not going to believe you. But if you lead out for a third of the pot on that board, they're going to fold a lot more often. Whereas if it's like a 6, 8, 9 board and you lead out for a third of the pot, they're going to have a pair or a draw or two overcards or something to call you. They're not going to be as scared by the board.
Right.
On that big cards board, you can steal that pot a lot more easily.
Out of the blinds, you're saying? Or are you saying even in Gus?
Anybody,
Any first one
Yeah.
to fire off is going to win that
The more
pot.
the board is scary, the less
Right.
you need to bet to take it down.
Yeah. Especially at this stage in the tournament, I would think.
Yep. These people didn't get here by just constantly calling down.
And here comes Rob, and this is what I would expect. Rob's not afraid to put chips in, and I think he's a tough player. You said you had experience with him as well, and
Yeah, I've played him a little bit. And I think the competition in general at running aces in Minnesota in tournaments is much tougher than a lot of other places in the rest of the country. So I expect these players to be stronger than you would typically see in a charity tournament. This isn't your average $50 charity tournament where there's like 30 guys that have never played before and 4 people that have played a little bit. There's some, there was.
the table that we played at, I thought was pretty stacked from considering tournaments that I normally play.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess there was $3 million in Hendon Mob winnings in the field.
Yeah.
I looked around and that was my best guess. Maybe it was between 2 and 3 million for sure.
Well, at one point, I know I had you and Mike Schneider and Michael Iverson.
Yeah.
A number of tough players at the table there.
Yeah, that was between me and Shides, you got 2 million.
Right.
Hendon
Yeah, you got
winnings
two-
there, so I guess maybe it's 4
Probably
million in
over
the
that,
field.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, we got an all-in in the call here.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Wasn't
And
is that Soja's?
Rob had the big stack, and Soja has Queen Jack.
Is it Soja?
No, it might be Mike Engelhoff. I can't see his
Oh,
chips.
okay. Must
Well,
be.
we should-
I see the reaction there.
We should pay a little attention here.
Yeah, it was Mike.
Mike's gone.
Well, so did he have Mike at the tens there? Because Queen Jack hit a Jack.
Yeah, he must have.
Mike must. So I think Rob maybe opened and Mike got it in out of the big blind there with tens.
Ace 10. Ace 10, Queen Jack. Okay.
Yes, Mike actually had ace 10 there up against Queen Jack and the Jack spiked there.
That's tournament poker.
But a good run for
And
Mike.
then, is that us on break? It looks like it is. So we got things kind of figured out in the broadcast now. We'll be back and try to stick with the action a little more and give you a real broadcast when we get back. And we're on break. We are back. Blinds are now 15:30. Change that.
And we're down to 7 players with Mike Engelhoff leaving an 8th.
Did he get any bounties?
I believe Mike did. I'm not sure what he got, but I think he collected something. He didn't bust me, so
Dan,
I'm
could
sort
you
of a
swipe
rare.
in, please? Could you
I know
swipe in,
that-
please?
You didn't even bust me today, even though I was
right.
I was
I
being
tried.
liberal with my busting.
I tried. The last one of these I played might have been 5. I think I might have missed one between. It was the last one at Running Aces.
Yeah.
I either min cashed or bubbled, but I made $2,800 in bounties.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was amazing. I got your 500.
Yeah,
but
it'd
like
be
total
100.
value of all the bounties I got was $2,800,
Yeah.
and the bounty, and I either didn't make the money or I min cashed for like $200 or something.
It's pretty sweet.
The
Yeah.
bounties are where it's at in this tournament. The
They
bounties
really
more
are.
than the prize pool, way more.
They really are. I mean,
The
they're
bounty
fun.
on me was like $300 or $400 worth.
Yeah.
And that was, everybody, our whole next level poker team had $300 or $400 worth of bounties.
Yep.
There were over 50 people had bounties on.
57 people at bounties, and yeah, well over
57
$10,000 of bounties. You know,
Wow.
everything from small cash to big cash, like $200 cash.
So it's basically a rake-free tournament.
Could I have your attention, please? Tom
You gave
S.
away,
Your 200 seat.
about the amount in bounties
Sounds
that
good.
came back in bounties.
Yeah, we've had overlays in the past. This one
Yeah.
actually wasn't quite an overlay, but for a charity tournament when you can raise $18,000 for the Against Malaria
Could I have your
Foundation
attention, please? We do have
and
immediate
almost bring
seating
full
for
value
200
to
hold
the
them in
players,
poker
that's
room.
a pretty good combination.
Again,
I think.
immediate seating for 200 hold them in the poker room. If interested, please see the poker board.
And do you know the numbers on how many lives it saves per X amount of dollars on Against
I
Malaria?
should have that in front of me. I think it ends up being
Like
about
good business.
$3 a net or something like that. So I mean, you start talking about however many
6,000 malaria
6,000
nets.
6,000 nets, and I forget the numbers, but it's I think it's if I remember right. Don't quote me, but 7 or 8 people typically are using the net.
Wow.
So now you start talking about 42,000 people that are using the net.
Yeah, for like 40 cents a person or something.
Right. Yeah, it's really cheap. And these are, the nets that they're using are the nice. They have the the chemical that they use to help really repel the mosquitoes. And
Yeah.
I've been to Rwanda. I've met with people with malaria. It's not a pretty thing.
And
until-
there's just starting. I just read about some strains that are resistant to the current malaria drugs. Like the only way to really be sure that you're going to keep this thing away is have the nets.
Yeah, and it's an interesting thing when we live here in the U.S. when you kind of take things for granted. When you go over there and you're sleeping under a net,
Yeah.
it's a very sort of a surreal feeling to think I need to be sleeping and have this net around me to prevent myself from potentially
really
getting a
sick.
disease.
Yeah.
And that's it's a really a wake up call.
Well, and we could end up that way here as West Nile moves through the country
Right.
and Zika moves through the country. And I've been to Central America where I've had to sleep under nets. And
Okay.
you do feel different after you've seen that and realized that
The impact.
Jerry, you're going to have
It looks
another
like we had
player coming in.
I don't know if Rocky shoved, but Rocky opened pretty big and took down the blinds nanny. So
Yeah.
nice pickup there.
which is 50,000.
7 times 35, 50, 80,000.
80,000.
80,000 in orbit here. So, you start thinking, I got 300,000 chips. Like, well, you don't have a lot of time.
Yeah. Every 80,000 you can add. This is the time to make money.
And there's about 3.5 million chips in play.
Looks like another shove.
Is that Mr. Soja getting it in there?
I can't tell if
Or is that Chris?
that's
Oh, Chris has
Bellflower.
cards. Yeah,
Chris
Chris
Bellflower.
Bellflower's shipping it here. Rob on the button looks like he's
Just
considering
thinking about
it.
it.
And then Gus and Crystal behind.
And they did chip up. Looks like Rob called.
Yeah, he must have called because he got folds out.
They did chip up, so they're light green chips on top of their pair of queens and an ace-7.
7. So the Rob has the queens here, right? Based on where the dealers no. Yeah, Rob's got the queen there, and so he picks up Chris had a bounty on him as well.
I wonder what it was. Do you remember?
I'm trying to remember what he had. I think it was cash and maybe a gift card, but at least cash. I'll grab that sheet.
Hey, you heard me say I'm not going to do that girl.
are down to 6. So something I definitely noticed is that we had a great camera shot set up until we had a dealer. I'm noticing that the dealer
blocks a little bit of the
blocks
edges.
some of the edges. It's very hard to do anything about it.
Do you want me to move Rocky over a little bit?
You can ask the dealer to sit back, but when they're reaching forward to pull in the antes, they're not going to be able to do that.
I could have Rocky move over a little bit. The other side's a
I was
little
actually going to have the other side, somebody from the other side move over.
I'll do that.
So have Crystal move around the camera and have Brian move over.
I'll do that,
I think we'd get a better shot.
Chris Wellflower had $100 that were in Running Aces Lammers that was donated by Running Aces, so that was his bounty.
Nice.
Yeah.
Running Aces donated a bunch of stuff and
They did.
hosted the tournament and everything. It's a great thing. I
Great
loved
support. Yeah, great support. Yeah, they donated $500
Dan,
in
you're gonna have a
Lammers.
player coming in.
That was
Split across
fantastic.
five players. Yeah, one of those players too. You talk about big bounties. One of the players that got drawn to have the $100 Lammers on him was Drew Lee, who's a local DJ. But he also had an iHeartMedia prize pack, two Vikings tickets, and 2 Wild tickets on him.
Oh wow!
They got $500 or $600 prize
That
pack
is a
there.
lot.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Let's see, here we have a raise from Rob.
Well, you're still in the same position.
Not a lot of big action in this spot. Rocky checks, Rob checks. Ace 3. Who's going to win this pot? Ace high with a pair of 8s on the board.
Hey, I somehow ended up with your brownie. I think you owe me $100. Hey, Rob, if there's any way you can move a little bit that way, that's don't get crowded. Yeah, you're good. You're good. I don't think so. I think you owe me $100.
So as we look at now, we're down to 6. I'm curious with you, Fox. Like, sort of, where do you start thinking about ICM patients? I mean, obviously there's the bubble, which min caches. We're not playing for min cache, but there's some implications there. And then there's this.
There's a little bit of ICM effect as soon as you're close to the bubble, and then it goes down a little bit once you break the bubble in a bigger field.
Because usually, every 9
everybody's
spots
getting paid
extra
the same amount for a while. Yeah.
Well, like here, like
But
say,
it still
looking at this
exists.
prize.
But now, in a tournament of this size, there's kind of ICM effect. You paid 15 spots. There's ICM from about 20 on. That is significant to your decision making. But it's so top heavy in a small field like this that it's not as big a difference as it would be in a bigger field.
Right. So we got another all in on the call here. So Ace Jack.
Looks like so
they
did-
held up against something.
So did double through Vic.
Okay.
Get him, Brian.
Yeah, Brian, I want to keep talking, so you just keep winning.
ICM.
I mean, obviously these aren't huge dollars, so it's different than $1 million tournament. But assuming that you were looking at this payout structure, I mean, you're in 7th or 8th position. Are you starting to think ICM really, or are you really just? I'm kind of going after the top 3 spots.
It depends on how steep the remaining payout structure is.
Yeah.
So, anytime you're talking about ICM, you're looking at how steep is the remaining payout structure, not what's been paid off,
Yep.
not what's left. And right now, the next couple spots are really small jumps,
Right.
and the big jumps are way at the top. So this is closer to a winner-take-all structure where ICM doesn't matter. In a bigger field, where the jumps would be bigger before you get to first, second, third, you'd worry about ICM more.
Yeah.
So ICM would come into play for me with this, with 6 people left here. If I was one of the really big stacks against another big stack,
Okay.
it's not going to make a lot of difference to me if I'm a short against a big stack, and definitely not if I'm a big against a short stack.
Okay.
2 short stacks against each other, it's not going to matter as much as it would have. 2 big stacks, it matters a lot. It's going to mean a lot because a big stack now is
Right.
locked up a couple $1,000s, and they don't want to mess around with another big stack if they don't have to.
So we had an open here from Gus under the gun, and then Vic shipped out of the small blind. So sort of an interesting spot here. I mean, you're under the gun raising range in the Vic shipment, and I'm not sure what Vic's playing, but maybe 250 or so, maybe. I'm not sure.
I can't tell if he's got any green chips or not.
Oh yeah.
It had to
looked
be.
like
It
orange
had to be
chips.
over 200 because he he's getting a fold.
And I don't know
Less
if
than 200.
Gus actually opened there, if he just limped out under the gun, but
It looked like a raised.
yeah, it looked like enough chips.
So Gus is in the big blind now. And
So now I don't know if you already talked about this. I was over there, but I got the split screen, so down to 6 players, so it's a little easier to see the 3 and 3 action here.
yeah,
So Crystal's going to be the under the gun player here.
She folds, Brian folds, and Rocky folds.
It's a big shift again here on the button.
I'd be with his stack. Should probably ship my whole range there.
He's going to. Oh, we got a call. Vic is in there with Ace Queen offsuit, followed by Ace 7.
But A7, well, he's in good shape.
Diamonds here.
He doesn't want the queen of
Diamond or
diamonds,
7.
that's for sure.
No, I think Ace Queen holds up. Yeah, the Queen of Diamonds would be a pretty evil card
Pretty
right
nasty.
there.
And that's the one, man. That's the one that seems to come.
A nice win for Vic there. I mean, it looks like a blind steal, right?
Yeah.
So what do you do with A7 in the small blind there when you have, when you think somebody's entire range is,
Reship and hope you win.
yeah. So you get it in there. I mean, there's no reason for it because the range is so wide, right?
You
Vic's
can't do it.
range.
You can't do it any different. I'm gonna try to move a couple things around and see if this looks better. I'm gonna put the camera down here. That gives us so we can see April's stack action that happens around
Or
her.
crystals.
And
Pretty cool technology you got going here, Fox.
yeah, I'm still really learning to use it. But
I mean, you're very well good at it. It's pretty simple.
and then we can either put the blinds here in the in the board, or we can put them up here. Put blinds up here. There's a lot more we can do with this technology than we are doing with it currently. We have a very high-powered computer under this poker table. We have a ton of work that we've put into this thing, and this is just the tip of the iceberg as to what we can do with it. We can really run an entire broadcast with this thing.
Says you guys if you're interested in joining the Halloween Pit Bash in the atrium, it is just opening up over there.
Crystal's
Live
thinking about
DJ
the
costume
grab
party
another button and
over in the atrium.
got it through.
It is now starting. If you want to go over there.
So your next stop is Iowa here, right?
Yeah,
Next
we're
time
gonna-
you're going to be using this.
That's right. We're gonna do some practice with it. Work with our tech guy here in Minnesota, and but our next stop is Iowa, and I'm and Joe. We're gonna have an even better broadcast built up for that.
Now, are you going to be playing in those tournaments at all, or are you just going to be
I
running
will
things?
not.
Yeah. Just too hard to.
I play pretty well, and I feel like if I were in a tournament and I was kind of a recreational player,
Yeah.
and the owner of the tournament won it, I might be unhappy about that.
Right.
And I don't want to be in that position where I feel like I'm playing a tournament and I'm not allowed to win.
Yeah.
In most states, we probably could play them, but I just don't think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we won't be playing our own tournaments. We'll be playing some cash. We'll be donating some cash.
donating, right? I'm sure. Oh, so Crystal's going to actually donk bet into this. I think Rob was the pre-flop raiser, and Crystal called from the small blind. She's going to raise right into it.
It's a pretty good board for that if you don't have anything. It's a pretty bad board for that if you have a jack. Given the stack sizes, she should really check shove with a jack,
Let him-
or with 7-8, or with any,
Let him
if
continue.
she likes her hand, yeah, check shove and get enough money in the pot there that it means something. But she still has enough chips to make it fold. If she, if she has a 5 there and she wants to find out if he's got it, it might not be a bad place to
Yeah.
talk.
Well, either way, nice pickup for Crystal. That's a nice win at this stage of the game.
When there's pressure on like this, when you're at the end of a tournament, the donk bet can be a really powerful weapon. If she's doing that a bunch of cash games, she's just going to get torn up because everybody's going to call. She's going to be out of position. It's going to be a disaster. But here, with this pressure on, that donk lead, people can just go, oh, what am I going to do? Put all my chips in there to find out if she has it? I just, whatever, just go on to the next hand. People will let you get away with it a lot more often. Pull it around to the blinds? Nope, Gus is thinking. In the cutoff.
That's like a 100K there.
That's a
huh?
raise.
That's like 4 greens to 100 maybe?
Yeah, it's a raise.
Macho Man 200. Macho Man 200.
I believe once we've had time to play around with the contrast and stuff on the cameras that you'll be able to see those chips a lot better next time. I know With the cheaper cameras we had before, I had to do some of that, and it was very successful. With the flop, I was able to turn the whole, turn the gray felt black and make the cards really stand out against it and very readable. With these better cameras, I'll be able to do a better job of that, and I'll be able to have those cards really stand out, and the chips stand out as well, so we can count the chips clearly.
Yeah.
That's one of my big goals is I want to be able to tell what everybody's stack is during the broadcast, so that I can tell people.
Right.
Because that's one of the things I always want to see. I want to know what the blinds and antes are, what the payouts are, so I made sure both those are on the broadcast. And then I want to know what the action is and what the stats are from the players.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's hard to know what's going on and why people are doing things if you don't know what the stacks are. With Gus's maybe 500,000 there, 400,000, that's 500. He can push people around. He doesn't seem to be a player that's going to do that. He hasn't done a lot of it, but he can.
It's like Vic's going to call here.
Yep, he raised and Vic called.
Vic is in the big blind, right?
Yep. And Vic can play.
Yeah, Vic's tough.
Careful with him. Queen 10-4 board.
I've given Vic a lot of chips. I've given a lot of people a lot of chips, but Vic has sort of owned me a little bit. He's just tough guy.
Gus isn't sure what to do. Looks like he's thinking about it. You see that side-to-side head motion from people there. That's, oh man, I don't know.
Look at Vic's. Yeah, Vic's checking him out here too. He's trying to get a read here.
I mean, that's definitely a motion that can be faked. It's an indicator of real strength sometimes.
The old false tell.
Yeah,
Giving up the false tell intentionally.
Sometimes it's almost unintentional. I think a lot of players just naturally will do things like that.
So you're saying that Gus is just sort of naturally deceptive person?
I don't know if he was being deceptive there at all.
Right,
Could've been
exactly.
true.
Nice
But
win.
it's a thing that you have to, at the higher limit seat, it's a thing you have to stop yourself from doing because it's so automatic sometimes to do things to make sure people don't see how strong your hand is and kind of cover the strength of your hand, and so you'll automatically do those things. A lot of people will, and you have to cover them up once players are smart enough to read them.
And you're sort of as friendly as a guy as you are off the field. I mean, you're pretty much just very stoic when you're playing, right? I mean, you're just, or no. I mean,
At the higher limits, I
Randy
am.
Savage,
Yeah.
you don't
200.
give off anything. Just
I try not to, but I'm a pretty expressive person, and I like to chat with people and learn things and do things.
But in the hand, it seems like you're pretty.
In the hand, I'm pretty careful.
You're not robotic. You're not like some of these guys that are robots. But like it seems like you the same motion, the same action.
Yeah,
Boy, Gus is getting reactive here. He's raising under the gun here too. He's pretty active.
getting after it. Yeah, I try not to give away too much. I think it's not so much that people are going to look into your soul and know what your emotions mean. More of it is that people will repeatedly see you do things in certain spots, and even if they're not looking for tells or smart enough to even pick up tells, there's a part of your brain that's working that you don't know it's working. People that aren't very good at things, if they do them enough, they start to pick it up.
So I think Crystal raised. What do you make of Crystal's body language here? She looks really comfortable.
Yeah, she looks really happy.
I mean, she raised. Look, he raised.
But I think she's also a very confident person, and I think
okay.
she could pull that off without having it.
Okay.
Not everybody can. I had to work at it. It was really a thing that I put work into to be able to learn to talk to people, to have comfortable open body language, to do all those things when I was bluffing or when I had the nuts, and be able to do those things. It's work, and you want to do it at lower limits and get good at it first.
Yeah.
You don't want to be playing around with it.
Yeah.
But Crystal's a confident person in it. She could pull that off and not have a monster. But I don't think she would very often, and she hasn't so far. She hasn't been super aggressive in pushing people around and playing with people, so my guess is she probably did have it. But if I saw that kind of body language from Rocky, I would say he's got it. No doubt he's got it. He probably wouldn't make that mistake. But
Here we got a Soja open and a Rocky ship.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good information. Yeah.
Rocky's going to get it through if Soja doesn't have a real hand. Even though it's not a huge raise, Soja doesn't look very happy about it.
End of round. Dealers complete the hands you're on and increase the blinds and limits.
lot of thinking.
Yeah, interesting spot.
I think he doesn't have a whole lot of hand. He's caught with standing in the cookie jar, but he's not facing a very big raise either.
Right.
He's probably thinking, I know I'm supposed to call here, but I don't want to hear what Fox has to say about it. And the other shortstops at the table are really helping.
I think we
call
got the call here. Like,
Yeah. That was a ship, right?
I thought it was a shipment. Nobody else is in this, are they?
But
Is
somebody
Crystal
else
in
must
this?
be in it. Crystal must be in it.
Yeah, nobody else has cards.
Yep.
Action would be on Crystal if she is in it here.
Luke, you still need checks?
Are they just checking it down here?
If they don't have
This
anything,
bodes
they're
well
probably
for
not going
Rocky,
to put a
right?
lot into it. Yeah, if Rocky's got
Yeah, if this check-
Rocky's got like the Queen Jack here, I think he wins unless there's
Checks
a
it
bet.
down.
If there's a bet here, it's trouble.
There's no side
I
pot
think,
probably.
think
here.
Rocky's our sixth place finisher here.
Did he get two pairs somehow? Did he already hurt him?
Could be.
See the hands. Ace Jack Deuce maybe? Or what was it? Ace Jack maybe Rocky had? You're shipping it to Rocky. So. No, Rocky, nice pickup there. Probably a triple out.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. Everybody's been pretty active. I mean, sometimes you see these final tables. Well, Rocky
One player on the 11th.
finished pretty short, but now he's got chips. But you know, a lot of times you see like a couple people just turtle so much in a final table, and I think we've seen everybody be pretty active here, haven't we?
Fairly, yeah.
It's pretty short into the final table, but certainly doesn't seem like we have
Some
anybody
people
that's just looking
asking
to
for
let
names up here, so I'm going to put them up.
Oh, you got the, you got your
you're
chat?
going to see me kind of create the
Fantastic.
through the creation process. You try not to try not to have this process exposed all the time, but in this case, it's going to be.
JW36 still. Table 3.
You're among friends. People know that you're
Doing interest check
work
for
out the
40
work
kill.
out the
Matt
bugs.
Pete.
Yep, that's why we did this one. See what we can do.
Matt P. still shooting 40 kill.
I mean, I expect something more for how much we're paying you for this.
That's right. Well,
Kyle D.
You get what you
still
pay
shooting
for.
40
I have it
kill.
all back. I'm officially donating my entire
Kyle
paycheck.
D.
Oh, that's very cool.
So you go ahead and narrate the action and let me know if there's anything important while I
Yeah.
put some names in here.
Well, looks like actually we might have a Rocky might open
Mimi
here.
still
Under the
shooting
gun here.
40.
It's like Rocky
Mimi,
maybe opened.
Thank you. YL still shooting 48. Thank you.
Crystal maybe
And
looking like she's
Chris
gonna
J.
get involved here. Oh, maybe she already folded.
Yeah, so just thinking about it.
Yeah, so just got chips. He's eyeballing Rocky's stat for some reason. Rocky's more than happy to show it to him. I think Rocky's still got about 450 or so now. He's picked up some chips.
Yeah, that
more
was,
than that.
that was a really nice pot that he won.
Yeah. Looks like we just got a call here. I think we're going to see a flop.
Pretty big pot, huh?
Brian Soja, Rocky Wiley going to the flop. Oh, Ace King 6. Rainbow flop, it looks like.
At this point, every pot's pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, just a raise and a call pre-flop generates a big pot.
Now, does Brian check his entire range here to the pre-flop raiser? Do you ever lead out on that kind of flop? As
On
the-
that Ace King 6 board, no, I probably would lead with. I mean, it depends on the game. You know, against strong competition, yeah, probably. In a smaller buy-in event, I
Matt
might
Pete,
lead with all my
sorry,
kings.
48 still.
Because if I get
Matt
raised, I
Pete.
know I can fold, but that's a very exploitive and then exploitable approach.
Okay.
But in a smaller buy-in tournament, I might lead with all my kings and then fold to a raise.
Tournament viewers in the bounty tournament lines are up 100.
Well, it looks like Brian had a
800.
king here. It looks like it. I think as the cards were put into the muck there, we couldn't see it real good, but I think Brian ended up with a king and just went to check all the way down to the river.
That's another fine way to play it and have a lot less variance.
Yeah. Here, a little bit of pot control there.
Yeah.
Hey, Rocky can be a tricky guy too. I mean, that could have been. something Brian gets in trouble with. Oh, nice pickup for Mr. Soja. Even though he's a Patriots fan living in Minnesota,
We give him a
we'll
pass.
compliment him on that.
He's such a nice guy that give him a pass.
You know what? He is a good dude.
He's won the Nice Guy Award in Minnesota 3 times.
Oh, is that right?
That's right.
Well, that seems like a little bit too
Minnesota
much.
Poker Awards.
That seems like a little overkill.
You couldn't find anybody else that was very nice. Everybody else was pretty.
No, but he is one of the good dudes for sure.
Yeah, you don't see how you don't see what a nice guy is with the blue sharks on. Covers it up a lot. That's
Yeah.
why I wear them too.
So people don't know you're a nice guy?
Yeah.
Nice.
People don't bother you and think you're mean if you wear the blue sharks and don't say anything to them.
We just got a limp. I think we just got a limp here again.
Who limped?
So I think Gus limped and
together.
Brian completed and Rocky checked. I don't know if Crystal's involved in this one. I don't think she is. But we did have another limp here. So the action will be on Soja to... Yeah, check to the limper. Let's see what Gus does here. He's looking at the board, so he's going to probably fire something. Looks like he's not sure though, but yeah, he's coming in for maybe 75 to 100. Oh, he must have known something. That's a pretty good board, a continuation bet if you handle it. I know he just limped, but as your
Your opponents aren't going to hit that board very often.
That's the sort of
Either
board
they have a
you're looking
queen
for,
or they got nothing. That's
one
a
big,
great,
2 lows,
that's a
rainbow.
Rainbow. Yep, that's a great board for a C-bet. Almost no possibility of draws on there.
It's one of the things that you helped me
Clean
with
a
on
board
the,
as you can get.
you know, we talked about continuation betting on the Rec Poker podcast, and you were provided some of that good insight there. And I think right now it's become such an obvious thing as I've studied that, but at the time, especially for recreational players, you know, when do you see that? What kind of boards are you looking for? And again, this is just a limp. It's different than a raise pre-flop, but you get that kind of a board, what are they going to call you with?
Yep. Yeah, how often does their range hit that board?
Versus,
Part of it.
you raise and you get 2 callers, and all of a sudden it's, King Jack 9. That's a little bit scarier, right?
Absolutely.
Mr. Soja's on the button here. Looks like he's contemplating taking some action. Yeah, he's coming in. I would be shocked to see Mr. Soja limp into a pot.
Yeah.
The open limp.
He knows I'd beat him later for it.
Just pound him.
Yeah.
Vic's thinking here.
Vic is not afraid to play a pot.
He's not.
Never.
This is what Vic does to me. He ships.
Yeah.
He ships over my raises.
And it was effective.
Yeah. Oh, did he get a call?
No.
Well, looks like they're running cards here.
Oh, did he? Oh, he did get a call. I thought Brian.
There's Ace King.
I saw Brian
That
flip
must
his
be
cards
Vic's.
in.
10s for Brian?
9s.
9s for Brian?
9s for Brian.
Ace King for Vic, it looks like.
I don't know who
Unless
Rick for. I
I'm-
like them both.
Unless I'm mixed up here on which side is which. Might be 9s for Vic.
Yeah, it looks like 9s for Vic.
I think it's 9s for Vic.
And Vic made it straight.
Yep. Good all the way, though.
So just going to be very short here.
I've got 4
Nice time to pick up Ace King on the button, though, when you're looking like stealing blinds, right?
Yeah.
Vic just picked up a monster there.
It's going to be
6-handed.
closer. Brian's just barely going to have chips left if he does.
So my announcing debut might be over, but it was fun. For what it was worth, I had a good time.
Good.
I like seeing the technology and kind of the stuff behind the scenes.
It's an interesting a bit of technology. The software does so much more than the hardware does. We've had some things custom made for us that help a lot.
Yeah.
Our tech guy Tim here has been fantastic.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Tim.
This would not be happening
Nice work.
without him.
I've heard some really good things about you.
Oh, that's good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah.
I believe Soja was left with 1 chip.
No, is that right?
Yeah, I think it's a 100K chip though. But that's surprising. I don't know why
Are there
Jerry would
100K
leave him
chip?
with a
There,
100K chip.
I think there's 25Ks in play. Or,
It's a 25K chip.
Yeah, I don't know if they have 100. The greens are 100 or 25.
Yeah,
here.
the greens are 25. So yeah, it is a 25K left. You still got more than a starting stack.
Right, exactly. Well, depending on how many chips you bought at the beginning.
He's got less chips than he's paid for.
Right, exactly. So now, is this a spot where you look at, I mean, again, ICM implications as the other players? You know, if you got 2 big stacks, how much? I mean, the payout's not a big deal, but you kind of want him to bust first.
You kind of do, but the payout jump from 602
Yeah.
to 772 doesn't mean a lot.
But in a bigger tournament, this is where you would say it's probably a mistake to get tangled up with two big stacks here.
Yeah.
In a big tournament, you know, your final
Absolutely.
table of a major tournament.
Yep, that would then, you know, when it's a $10,000 jump, you
The
absolutely.
ICM says let the small, let them bust, and then move on. You know?
Brian probably has to ship his whole range here. He's actually got one more hand he could see, but with the antes at 5K, he should be shipping probably 80% of his range here.
And he was under the gun here,
No, he's one off the gun. He's got one more hand
one
that he
plus
can see
one, yeah.
before he could be stuck
but
in.
he did get it in here, I think. And Rocky's in as well.
But if you win this pot, then you can shove under the gun, have a chance to win because you'll have enough chips. And then that gives you a chance to fold your big blind if you have to.
And it looks like a 5-way pot. So
So
if he had 100K,
he'll have
he's
200,000 almost
right.
with the antes and everything.
He just has to beat 4 people.
Yeah.
Yikes. With his range super wide, I'm not sure he's going to love that flop. He did check all the way around, though. It's like Rob checked dark here on the turn. I don't know if I'm dark check.
I'll take the field against Soja in this case, but
Jack for a chop.
he doesn't look happy.
Well, they're all checking. It's like kind of like Brian's spot here.
I think it's over.
Is there anything in here?
Maybe he did win it.
Vic get him? Not sure what's happening. Ace?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they playing the board? Are they all playing the board?
No, he's not chopping the pot up that wide, I don't think. Maybe he is.
But did you people muck though?
Yeah, they can't be the board. It must have been a chop.
Maybe they each had an ace, or you said
It was ace 5 versus ace 9
Okay.
for a chop, am I right?
yeah. Okay, thank you. Like I hope 2 people didn't muck when everybody's playing the board. That'd be pretty bad.
So Soja survives and triples up.
Yeah,
He chops
nice.
pot and triples up.
Vic's happy. He gets a piece of that.
Yeah.
Even though I'm sure he wanted the whole thing, he's still probably pretty happy with it. So now Brian's under the gun, but he's got enough chips he doesn't have to necessarily go, or what do you think here? Pretty wide still
Does
under the gun?
he I think he's got to ship really wide here. Otherwise
big
he's
blind
forced
next
all
one.
in. Yeah, I mean he's gonna be committed probably next hand. So.
And there it is, yeah.
And if you ship here, you might have enough chips to get it
To get
fold.
through,
If the big
right.
blind's got a bad enough hand.
Rocky laid it down. Vic it's like he called, yeah. He announced call.
Vic is gonna call really wide here. I mean, he knows that Brian's got to ship his.
So really wide, what do you think? Like any queen? I mean queener? I mean, what's wide do you think
With
here?
3 players behind you, I don't think any queen, but
Yeah.
you know,
2 broadways for sure.
queen, yeah, any queen 8 suited, queen 9 offsuit,
Okay.
and anything better than that, and any pair.
But he can't love now that you've got Rob.
But I would have 3-bet.
Oh, see, I was gonna say Rob's a good enough player now. He's gonna pick up on this. Like he may just isolate here. You know, if he doesn't think Vic's very strong.
Yeah, if I was Vic, I would have just min-raised here.
At least then, I think this just opens up the unless he's trapping here.
Possible,
Vic
although
could do, but-
with only Rob behind him as an aggressive player, I don't think it wouldn't be a good idea to trap here.
So there's the 3-bet from
I
Rob.
think the 3-bet's big enough that
Crystal's down there.
I don't think Rob's playing around.
And there goes Vic. Vic might have showed an ace there, but he folded. So Rob isolates him. It looks like ace king for Rob. I think it's ace jack for Brian.
Brian. Wow, you get ace jack under the gun.
Yeah,
You're all excited.
I know, right? He actually picked up a monster 6-handed with his stack. Now looks like he needs. Well, he's got clubs and hearts. He's got a Broadway and a jack. There it is.
The jack is good.
Yeah, gonna
See
dodge
if
a
it
10,
holds.
10 or a king here. Yeah, it
Double
looks
up.
like Mr. Soja's gonna
Triple up with the
pull a rabbit out of the hat again.
Yeah.
So yeah, he said he was at 25,000, so that's a nice little run up. And that's a real bummer for Rob there to pick up such a big hand. We get all that dead money in there with Vic's call.
Didn't lose much though.
No, it's a nice sized spot though. It's,
Yeah. What is the Against Malaria Foundation's web address? Where do you find them?
I think it's just againstmalaria.org.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's what it is, yeah.
And are they a reg charity thing or a give well thing?
They are, Reg Charity has declared them to be one of the most effective charities in the world. So Reg Charity does a lot of work. It's raising for effective giving. So they do what they do is they do a lot of work trying to identify what are the charities that have the biggest impact per dollar. And that's why we went to them as one of our partners. Said, okay, who would you recommend here doing work in Africa? And they said the Against Malaria Foundation is just hands down.
I think the
having a
effective
big
altruism movement is just fantastic.
Yeah, I love that too.
I have a number of friends who are involved with Reg Charity, and I think they're a great charity.
You're interested in
They're
getting a
really
professional
good people.
massage, please let your dealer of Lorna will send her
So
over
it,
to
you know,
your
it takes some
table.
pressure off us too as we're looking for good partners. We have some great partners already, but it's for this specific event, you know,
Yeah.
wanting to do something and just to be able to go Reg Charity and they can give me all their stats, all their whatever, and say, you know, this is per dollar, this is having the biggest impact in the world. Like,
Yeah.
let's go.
I love it. Poker players with their math minds are getting together and doing some things that
Oh,
are
sure.
useful for them and make the world a better place.
Yeah. Well, and just I think, you know, people, when you're donating to a cause, I mean, you want to know there's impact and you want to know that your money's well spent. I mean, those are the two things that people want to
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
And so when you can say, you know, this, they've already been identified by a third party as one of the most effective, you know, it just makes you feel better about your donation. So when we say we raise $18,000, you know, we know that that's going to have a huge impact. It's not, you know, we're not taking anything as a middleman. Nobody else is taking anything as a middleman. It's going and having impact. And I think that's a big win for everybody. You want to feel good about your donation.
Absolutely. I learned about Reg from Andrew Barber,
Oh,
and he won the horse bracelet the year after I did, and he wanted to run the speech by me that he was going to give to kind of announce Reg Charity and talk about it.
Okay,
And during the bracelet ceremony. And as I read the speech, I was blown away by the power of effective giving. And he put in there the contrast between the Ice Bucket Challenge and how $1 million in the Ice Bucket Challenge would give something like 8 months of quality life a year,
Right.
of quality life. And that same amount of money in project from GiveWell.org or Reg Charity would be like 30,000 life years or some just absurd amount of,
Yeah.
the difference in impact when you can, like, with $1 million you can deworm like 70,000
Right.
kids in Africa that are in pain every day,
Yeah.
or you can give somebody 8 months at the end of their life.
Right.
And just the difference. I mean, we'd like to help everybody, but the money isn't there. And the difference that you can do when you study effective altruism and how much good you can do for the world. That's, if you go to reg-charity.org, you can learn about a lot of the things they do, and givewell.org is another really good place.
No, I couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. You know, so many times we just want to, like, you know, there's organizations that just kind of want to have their name on stuff, but the question is ultimately, what are you accomplishing? You know, what's the vision? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to become well known? Are you trying to do whatever? But if your real motivation is trying to, you know, impact, change, save, extend lives, you know, in the most effective way, then it seems like an obvious question to say, well, who's doing that?
Yep.
And to have an organization like that, like you said, with these great analytical minds,
And they
you know.
and they do different things. You know, they have a pet-related charity
right.
on Reg-Charity. They have, and they just study the most effective of different types of things.
Correct.
For me, I want people to be happy and educated, because I think for the long term, that does people the most good. Educated people have educated children, and they have less children, and they affect the world around them in more positive ways. So you have happy, educated people. That's what makes the world a better place. So that's what I like the most. And then I love animals. Their animal charity is really good. But if instead it's a particular, if you want to do stuff within the United States, or if you want to work with the very poorest people who have the hardest lives,
Right.
or all those different things, the Bottom Billion Project is really good.
oh, what's that now? I haven't even heard about that.
It's been around a long time. They do things that affect the bottom billion people,
Yeah.
and they tend to support these projects that will bring those people into more of a first or second world life.
Okay.
So things like the glasses that you don't need to see an optometrist. You just get these glasses, and there's screws in the side of them, and you turn the screws, and it injects more glycerin into the glass, or less glycerin into it, to change the focal point, so that you can basically make your own glasses. And they're like $6.
People are geniuses.
So they've
Wow, that's
last
really
I knew,
cool.
this was a few years ago was the last time I gave money to that one, but they'd given away like 500,000 pairs of glasses. It's amazing.
That's
When
unbelievable. That is
there's
unbelievable.
an optometrist for every 600,000 people in,
Right,
in Africa or
right.
something, it changes people's lives.
So good.
And they did the hippo water roller.
Okay.
Have you seen those?
Yeah,
Those are cool.
yeah.
That was one of the Bottom Billion projects.
Okay.
Funded
okay.
things.
So I've probably seen some of their stuff. I just hadn't heard of the project.
Probably, yeah.
But we just had a nice win by Crystal there. So she raised pre-flop and got called by Rob on the button or on the big blind.
She looks really happy.
And she looks happy about
She's
it.
so pleased.
And then is she listening to us? I don't know.
She looks
And
like she ate all the canaries.
it was interesting too because then the board came like King 8-6 all spades. It went check and she continued and got it through. But that's sort of it's a good board probably to bet, I suppose. But it can be a little dicey there when you don't know what Rob was defending his big blind with there. So nice win for Crystal.
I don't know who's playing this pot with Vic.
Crystal looks like she's
Crystal
reaching for
and Vic.
chips.
Okay, so
Crystal's
Crystal
been pretty
must have raised
active.
under the gun, and Vic called the button.
And she got another lead through.
She's running over the table.
She's playing well. Another lead through.
Sometimes a confident person becomes a confident player at a final table when they realize everybody's a little scared and they just start to kill it. And she looks very confident.
She'd make a great All for Africa winner.
She would.
They all would. I like all of these guys. I really do. I like all of them. But it'd be kind of fun to have her go all the way through. She's been Straight Flush has been just incredibly generous as well. They've donated a number of seats.
Oh, great!
She's also connected with Lake Show Sports, who's donated some great sports memorabilia, and so they've been fantastic supporters, as well as so many.
If you tried to list every supporter that donated something to this tournament, we would never have a broadcast. We'd never finish.
It would be a
broadcast.
lot. I mean,
That was
between
incredible.
individuals and the organizations.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Because
Pile of poker books and shirts and hats and hoodies and all the stuff that was given away.
I mean, Zach Elwood is
Couple
we got
of
a
all-ins
ship
here.
and a raise and a re-raise maybe here.
Yeah,
or
they're all in.
Crystal's actually got a decision here, looks like.
Yeah.
She's in the big blind now.
She's out.
So Brian
they look
and
like
Rocky.
they're fairly close
So the
stacks.
first card's in are Brian's.
Rocky's ahead. Rocky might have a few more chips, but it's close.
So Brian's here.
What happened to our camera?
So we lost a little bit of blur. So we don't know. We'll see. Oh, there it is.
there it is.
Ace-6 for Brian, I think, and Jacks for Rocky. And there's a
A lot of outs for Ryan. It's a
or open-ender,
it's
3,
an
4, 5.
open-ender with an ace.
Ace gets
does
there.
it.
Like
Wow.
H36.
Or Rock, that's a good tough way to go. A nice tournament, Rocky. Very nice tournament. Brian Soja has come back from 25,000 to. He's got a lot of chips now.
Yeah, it's 400 maybe back where he started.
I wonder if he's higher than that.
Could be.
Here comes some more. Yeah, here. Made him at 400 before he got the rest of the middle. Oh yeah, Rocky had a bounty as well, so he's. I think Rocky actually had I think we put an entry into the Hawaiian Dream. We have this Hawaiian Dream winner take most tournament on Thursday. And I think Rocky had one of those on. So Mr. Sojum, we might see him Thursday night as well.
I like that tournament idea so much that we're considering canceling our flight to play it.
I heard that. That's cool. Well, you guys want to go to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, we love Hawaii.
I've never been.
We love it.
It's a pretty sweet trip. It's a pretty exciting trip. But
Who donated that?
it's an anonymous donor.
Wow.
Yeah, and
So
so,
it could have
fantastic.
been me.
It could have been you.
It wasn't.
Yeah, it could have been you.
It wasn't me. I
All you listeners out there.
It wasn't me. I would have just gone.
But then
to
again, you
Hawaii.
can't win your own tournament, so it wasn't you.
That's right.
I'm gonna rule out one. I'll let you know it wasn't you.
Okay.
There's several billion people left in the world that it could have been.
It wasn't
But
Brian.
no,
it wasn't Brian's idea.
It was one of those just fantastic donations that they wanted to incorporate into All In for Africa, the main tournament today. But we're like, how do we incorporate this? We couldn't put it as a bounty on somebody.
So
That's
much,
crazy.
Yeah, so much bigger than anything else.
And so we did play with, adding it to the prize pool and all those things. But
4-on-1.
but what we decided is create its own separate tournament, and we're gonna see how that goes. Kind of a winner take most.
That is very cool. It's like a $10,000 value. That's-
It's 9,500 is the estimated value. It's first class flights from Minneapolis to Hawaii. If you win it from Vegas, I'm sure we can arrange something there. But it's also 7 days, 6 nights at the Four Seasons in Maui. $100 a day resort credit, which I'm not sure how much you spend at the resort, but that's at least a nice piece of it.
If I have $100 a day credit, I'm spending $100.
Well, right, you'll spend
That's how much.
more than that. But
Yeah.
so it's a great, incredibly generous donation for sure. And so part of running it as a separate tournament is, maximizing our charitable impact. So what we've done is we've nice win there for Rob, nice pickup. We have added some tournament lammers too. So it's not just the prize for first place. We're giving away $1,000 in running aces lammers for second, $500 for third, and then $250 for fourth and fifth each. So
What's the buy-in on that tournament?
it's a 120 plus 20, so it's a 140. It's
$140 buy-in tournament, and
The prize pool is fixed, so we're not going to change the prize pool based on entries. It could be
the
huge
prize pool is
overlay.
going to be like $13,000, $12,000.
Somewhere around there, yeah. Okay, well, 2,000 of lammers total, so about 11.5.
11. Okay.
Yep.
And wow, that's going to be. There's no way. It's almost hard to imagine there wouldn't be an overlay in that.
Yeah, because normally a Thursday night tournament, it's not going to get 120 entries or whatever it would take to
And
to
then-
get there.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a great.
And then the charitable side of it too. We're going to pick up another, hopefully another $11,000 or whatever in charitable impact. So we turn All Extra Africa from what's already huge, 18,000 being our biggest we've ever had today. We could be approaching $20,000 or $30,000 in terms of a total impact.
That is fantastic.
Staggering.
We'll be back. Our flock cam will be back in just a moment.
We'll hope nothing happens in the meantime
We
here.
had a loose cable connection to the power source, and this was the only one on that power source, and it keeps, when it goes out, then the battery gets low.
Oh, sure.
It should be back in a minute.
Well, it looks like Crystal's going to start promoting something right now. Is that next level?
I believe it's next level poker.
Oh yeah, Jordan is like
Hang out with Fox.
nice. That's a good looking cap.
Yeah, there we go. Another next level poker hat at the final table, and there's our tech guy Tim.
Yeah, doing
And
good
they're
work again.
Trying to get our flock cam fixed.
So I'm not sure what the action was here. I don't know if Gus faced a raise and defended. I think he might have been under the gun and raise opened and just took it down. Yeah, so Crystal's now representing. Is it Jordan's goal to get everybody at the table wearing a next level hat?
I think it is.
We only have one more hat left.
Yeah.
So I
Okay,
don't know
one
how
more.
that's gonna
Well, you guys
happen.
could give up yours if you really
I don't think
cared about the
anybody
product.
wants to see that.
You gotta get Rob to give
Flock
up his.
cam is
Rob,
back.
Rob's got a great looking hat though, so I don't know if you're gonna be able to get him to give up his hat. I mean, right? That's a nice looking hat. I don't know what it says on it, but it looks good in it.
Well, it's definitely the right hat for Crystal, and it looks great on a camera. It's a good
Right.
one.
Yeah, so she just holds that pose right there.
Perfect. In the future, we're going to be interviewing people as they bust out and having them do commentary a little bit with us and
Oh,
talk
nice.
to us
I can
about
totally
it.
interview about the
You want to get somebody in here right now? You want? Okay.
It's a monumental situation. We're fine.
So we're down to 5. Rocky Valley was our last, bust out at 6:02. The jumps after the next one start to be real money.
Yeah. So what do we got? 772 guaranteed right now.
772, and then 1,000 after that, and then 1,500 after that.
And whether the money means a lot to you or not. I mean, a $330 pay bump on a $120 buy-in, and that starts you start getting 3x the buy-in. Or for some of us, $600 buy-ins.
Yeah.
whatever it might have been. Whatever it might have been for
Still
you.
shoots 40 kill.
I think Brian
GY?
might have had the most buy-ins. He
GY?
talked about having a bunch.
He has in the past, but not today. Actually, I bought it. I paid more into the
Were you the
tournament than
record
Brian today. But actually, I think Mike Iverson.
Oh, I'm told that it was actually Isaac today.
Oh, really? Because I know Mike Iverson had a lot too.
Ah, do we know how many times Isaac bought in?
I'm on the first table.
Were they
Oh,
just
wow.
rebuys? Or were they full?
Rebuy, reload for 5, rebuy for 10, reload for 5. I would say 5 straight for sure.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a.
That was after the first table of the day broke.
Thanks to Isaac Tucker for the massive donation and buy-ins.
Well, he won the tournament last time, so
That's true.
He's
got
giving
some
Title
back.
defending, you said.
He's giving back.
Yeah, right. Title defending.
Yeah, so we will have a new All for Africa champion today with Mike Engelhop busting too. So we do have a little All for Africa trophy as well.
Thank you. Andrew E. Still shoots 200. Interest check only. Thank you. Mike
I always
E.
tell people
still shoots-
we're nonprofits.
Thank
We can't
you.
give you a big trophy. We've got a
JW.
nice. We've got a guy that makes these.
Still shoots 200.
I'll wait for the.
GW.
Can't wait for it to be done. But we got a guy that
Jason
Dan
G.
Bielen.
Still shoots
He might
200.
be
Thank
listening
you.
too, but he makes a lot of these
Sure.
things for our trophies and things to give out to players.
XC still shoots 200.
Is that his profession?
It's not. He just does that on the side.
think he does?
He's
That's
very
really
good
neat.
with medals and.
They're very cool. The little splash pot things and all those things. Those are really neat.
Yeah. I think Jordan was chatting with him a little bit earlier too with Dan, but yeah, he's been incredibly generous. He actually made a very nice trophy for us. It's an Africa thing. It's beautiful. It's really heavy metal, and we're gonna etch names on there with the champions and that sort of thing. So it's kind of a fun.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, he's been incredibly generous. So shout out Dan if you're listening. I didn't see the pre-flop action. Looks like Crystal's gonna fire again here out of the big.
Yeah.
Is it just blind versus blind maybe? Oh no, Rob's got cards, I think. Yeah, he lays it down again. She comes right out. Let's see what Gus is at.
I'm gonna go play with the cameras for a second. And Jordan's
All right.
gonna commentate with you.
All right, sweet. Jordan, what do you think? Who's your favorite here based on what you've seen as far as the action's going? Who's playing well? What do you think? Got a favorite here?
Kevin, you got one seat back there on 3?
Yeah. It's been good play. I mean, it's hard to argue with Soja's momentum he's got going.
Thank you. Gary A. 36
Came back with
kill.
such a small stack.
Gary.
Crystal, I like
A.
what she's doing. I mean, she's playing
36
tough.
kills.
She's leading a lot of pots. She's winning a lot of pots.
D.
But Brian's
200
getting one of
Omaha
those lucky massages now.
Uh-oh, what's going on there? Is that Heidi in there? Nice. Free massages.
She's a professional,
Is she a massage? Does she do
and
massage?
she always keeps it professional.
Okay. Is that what she?
No
is she a
shenanigans.
is she a massage therapist? Is that what she is?
No.
Oh, okay, okay. I'm like, I don't, that can be fooled. I'm so gullible. But you look at the other side of the table, though. I mean, Vic Pepe, I play a lot with. Rob Meyer, I play a lot with. Gus Hansen, I play a lot with. All those guys are really tough too. I think Crystal's got a lot of momentum. Man, I don't know. It's a fun final table.
She threatened to do a lot of things to improve our ratings on camera here today. So I'm impressed
did
it was
that?
only a massage.
Oh, Heidi did. Oh, sorry. She was trying to improve ratings. Yeah, do you guys have like a 7-second delay in case you need to block
Thank
something out
heavens
here?
it's the internet.
Right, exactly. What does the FCC charge of here? So I think Gus might be on the button here. It looks like he opened from the button, and Crystal looks like she's got some intentions to defend. Defend and maybe more. Let's see. That looks like that might be a raise. Was there a lot of? That looks like that might be a raise for. I'm not sure. Gus might have limped. I think Gus might have limped, and she might have popped it to $1.50 or something.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with the limp very often. At
Yeah,
this stage of the game.
he's been limping a little bit, and I think he's had some success with it. But it's tough, I think, to maintain. It'd be good. I mean, he's got him kind of set up for a big limp shove here. I mean, if he ends up having a hand. Let's see. I mean, she may have just called. Okay, maybe he did open and she just called. Let's see. So she decided not to lead out that time. She'd been leading out a fair amount.
Attention guys, we're opening up a new 2-to-100 for Cam, Miller,
She just
Andrew
lays it
E, Mike E, JW, GW, Jason G, and Ryan E.
I think she might have read a
Brand new
monster.
2-100
She
for
might have what?
Cam,
Read a monster.
XD,
Yeah.
Ryan E.
So I think Gus
Jason
maybe
G,
did open
GW,
there.
Mike E,
He'd been
Andrew
limping, but
E,
he might have
and
opened,
Miller,
she called,
table
and
number
then
6
pulled it the continuation.
for that
bet.
brand new 2-to-100 spread.
That's women. They read you.
Is that what it is?
So, by the way, you guys can't see those pinstripes on her pants, but speaking of things you might need to delete with the LCC.
you don't like the pinstripes?
Oh, they're great. They're
Oh.
great. I don't know, but if you had a chance to zoom in on those pinstripes,
Oh, is there more to the story than we're aware? Yeah. So everybody at home is now like zooming in, trying to see what's on there.
They spell out a message.
Oh, they do. Oh, now I'm all intrigued. I gotta go check it out.
she's got a lot to say.
But we don't have to worry about the FCC. We're on Twitch.
Right. That's what we were wondering.
News.
So Gus picked up a nice spot while you were gone there.
Excellent. I think those camera adjustments make things a little easier. Now we can see all the action in front of Crystal. See what's going on here a little better.
So who opened here? Did he just should have Rob shove?
Rob just might have shoved.
He might have just shoved. Yeah. Okay. He's under the gun.
GY, 4-8 kill.
Nice stack.
GY. Last call. No? Table number 1.
Rob's wearing light coated.
Attention guys, we have immediate seating for 4-8 Omaha High and 2-100 Omaha High.
With Vic on Vic. There we go.
So we just had a comment from Melissa. She says she can't find her cheaters. Can somebody tell her what Crystal's pants say?
Weak.
Are we not allowed to say?
Well, I don't know what the swearing policy is on Twitch.
Oh, okay. So, so we'll just let it go right there. We'll just let it go. What's the action here? Vic and the big? No, Vic's in the small.
Vic.
Just folder. Oh no, Gus must have got
Gus might have
something.
limped and Vic raised him. There's chips in front of Gus, but he's the only one that I didn't get the camera on before I could see the action in front of him.
Yeah, I didn't see what he pulled out of the stack there. I didn't see, but Rob's still determining what to do here. So Gus did something out of the under the gun here. It's like Vic shipped from the. Or didn't ship. I guess Vic raised from the small for most of his stack though. There's a ship by Rob. Gets it in.
Vic called it. So they must have hands here.
Yeah.
And
Rob's
Rob
got
would
some
have to have a
hands.
hand to get it in here.
I think Vic likes it when he sees Rob. Let's see.
I see 7 spots. I see
Boy,
an ace 7 for
I think
Vic.
Vic is asking if anybody folded an ace, so Vic must have ace something.
Yeah, it's got
must be a pair.
It's an ace 7 for Vic.
Yeah, it looks like he's asking everybody, you hold an ace? You hold an ace? Let's see, it looks like we're going to count it out before we actually see the hands here. Are you a fan of that, or do you like just running it and see what happens?
I just would run it.
Yeah, so ace.
Let's find out.
Ace 7 of clubs, suited ace here for Vic, and Rob's looking at kings. Got one of the club blockers.
I think Vic
but-
is just happy because it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. You know,
Right, running against a better ace would have been worse. So
it looks like Rob's got Vic covered here. Looks like him pretty easily. I don't know about easily, but he's got him covered.
it's a big pot though.
Vic, I love that look on Vic's face. Like,
Looks like he knows he's going to win it. Like,
let me see. He's a confident dude. Let me
How
steal
happy-
another one.
I'm so happy I got it in here.
That's a pretty bleak. That's pretty bleak. Yeah, it is a terrible flop. He announces, And Rob with a nice big pick up there. Vic, great job, 5th place.
So
Good guy, Vic.
Crystal and Rob are our chip leaders now. We're gonna take a brief break, and I'm gonna move those cameras around and see if we can get another interesting shot here. With 4 people, we can do things a little differently.
Cool. Nice job, Vic. Yeah. Were you asking people on ace? Is that what you're doing?
Huh?
You were asking
Yeah,
people
yeah,
on ace?
yeah.
It looked like, I think he's asking,
Has you
he's
guys
asking people if they
interested
folded
in
an
playing
ace.
2 to 100?
Nobody had one, so
There's
I
2
just-
spots
I
left
just-
available on a brand new 2 to 100. Please come to the poker board if you're interested in playing.
Yeah, it was a terrible flop for me there.
Yeah. Nice run though, man. Thanks for playing too and not bounding and everything. Seriously. Means a lot. Thanks for Oh, yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure.
work back there. I keep thinking you're going to come back, but you keep not busting. I keep trying to. I'm like, I got to get out of this.
And I'm down to the ante.
25,000, right? Yeah. I was down to 25,000. Jerry gave me one green chip just to do the deal. Right. Oh, and Crystal was nice enough to break it for me so I could just get it. I was going to give it back to him at the end and make it work.
Dear tournament director, since the time is paused, can we go to the bathroom? Wait, I know you said it's fine, but it's ultimately your decision.
Everybody's good with that? Sure. Foxy fine with that?
Fine with me.
Alright. Real quick, guys, real quick.
I think that's a pretty slick shot.
So I can't smoke.
And
4 minutes. 4 minutes.
we've got a few minutes to move some things
4
around.
minutes to the clock.
All right, we're gonna go off for a minute. All right, we're back four-handed. Vic Pepe finished in 5th for 772. Players took a brief break, and we're back with Gus and Brian playing a pot. Looks like Gus must have raised the cutoff, and Brian defends the small blind. Got a 6-6-7 board, and Brian leads. We've lost Steve Fredlin, but we've gained Jordan Handrich. An accomplished player, over 100,000 in Hendon Mod winnings, one of the last female player in the 2016 World Series of Poker in any event, and one of our part owners in Next Level Poker. Also an attorney with the poker law firm Verstandig Law.
Brian takes down another one. It is amazing considering he only had 25,000 there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was...
Yep.
Talk about shipping a chair. They talk about it a lot, and most of the time, no one believes it. But Brian really proved that that's possible.
And usually Brian would be my broadcast partner, but this moving from partner to partner thing that I've heard about all my life is actually pretty fun.
End of round. Viewers complete the hands you are on and increase the lines and limits.
That's not bad.
I let that one slide, but he did get a dirty look.
I had it coming. Rob raises the button, and Crystal's been pretty frisky, pretty fearless. She's going to play this one, I think.
Steve's back. He's been doing a great job announcing the action.
Thanks, Cam. Appreciate it.
I always say I've got this blonde hair dye that suddenly seeps in, and you're pretty darn good at keeping track of what's going on.
Well, I'm super intrigued. I love the game. So. I got stuck talking with Rob, though, so he's...
Dennis F. for 3-6 kill. Dennis F.
Sorry, I got stuck talking to Rob there. We were exchanging bad beat stories in Vegas, which...
Oh, I'm glad I missed it.
We don't really love to talk bad beat stories. No, we weren't really getting into the detail of it, but... Nice.
So absurdly intolerant of bad beat
No,
stories.
it really wasn't. It was one of the just those general sort of things. But no, Rob actually, I was talking to him and I both played day 2 of the Hall of Scream.
Oh.
We played together for quite a while, and Rob made it all the way to 8th there, so he's been on a nice little run. It is funny now, like you probably experienced this too, but like, having the Rec Poker podcast too, like it's unbelievable. I'll play a daily event or whatever. People come to me all the time. Here's my bad beat story. Here's my bad beat story. Here's my bad beat story. Or here's one for the podcast. And some of them are really interesting. Like I'm interested by the ones that are actually really good spots, like do decision. But I do get a little bit weary of, you had pocket queens and you lost. Yep.
I am amazed when you're in a tournament and somebody at your table, their buddy will come by who's just busted out. I'm out. And the dummy at the table will say, what happened?
I know.
I go, did you just ask for a bad beat story
and
for a whole table?
Yeah. And I'm Minnesotan, so I make that mistake too because I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? Like, oh wait, no,
never mind.
I just want you to say I had a good hand, I lost.
Yeah. I did something stupid and I'm out or whatever.
Right. It is where I think having a statistical background does help me in some of this too, because you're going to win that 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Which means 1 out of 10 times you won't.
And then you're going to come tell me about it.
Then I'm going to hear about it.
And I know 10 people, so somebody's coming over here every day.
Right. 10 of you were in that exact spot and 1 of you lost.
I disagree. When you're at the table, I think it's great to listen to those bad beat stories because it gives you insight into how they play.
Yeah.
You've got a leg up on them. They can tell you how they limped with aces.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
How they overbet pre-flop or on the flop.
Mimi still on 4-8.
There's
Mimi,
so much information to
4-8 kill.
gather from that bad beat.
So strategically, do you actually try to get people talking about their bad beat stories?
Oh, yeah.
To that point?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'll ask a lot of dumb questions.
Chris J still on 4-8.
That aren't really
Chris
dumb.
J.
You're doing your...
Gary A.
That's
still on
interesting,
4-8
yeah.
kill. Gary A.
Oh, they can be.
Yeah, at the table, maybe it's okay. I don't know.
Gary A.
It does get weary.
4-8 kill.
It does get weary listening to bad beat stories.
I think
especially when they're not really bad
you
beat
got more
stories.
players to start that game,
Like
have
you know, a
nothing to
guy raised under the gun, and I called with King 8, and the flop come whatever, Ace King Queen, and he raised, you know, he bet and I called, and what I mean, just these like
and then
it's not even a bad beat story.
And then I lost to Aces full.
right, it's not even a bad
And
beat
I
story.
Got my chips in behind
Or
every
no, an
street,
eight
and then I
came
lost.
on the turn, so I had 2 pair and I lost a 2 pair.
Right.
And the guy had Ace Queen, you know, like well.
I think for me it's a tolerance issue. There's so many things in poker that you could do perfectly. You could learn more about your opponents, and you could do all these things. And Jordan tolerates humans better than I do. She just likes people.
You
more
like
than
the
I do.
animals. You're more of an animal guy.
Animals, yeah. No animal ever told me a bad beat story. If a puppy had a bad beat story for me, I'd probably listen to it. But that's a thing Jordan can do. She can listen to people, and she's
so good.
empathetic, and then she can use that information. Whereas, I understand exactly how to use that information, but I can't focus on learning anything while somebody's telling me a bad beat story because I'm thinking about them being on fire, and I just can't. I can't do it.
So it's different. So I can listen to people and empathize with them, but I don't know what to do with the information. You don't really want to listen to it, but you can use the information. Jordan's got both going for her.
She's better than me.
So what did Brian open on the button here?
It looks like it to me.
They moved money into the pot.
Yeah. Brian is talking like I can't tell if he said.
I wonder if Rob reshipped on him here.
Looks like
Rob reshipped, I think. I think Rob shipped jacks. It's Rob's jacks. Is it Rob's jacks? It must have been. Brian would have snapped with jacks, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, the dealers. Yeah.
And
You're not even gonna run it out.
yeah, our
have you switched the camera? Like, there's this.
well, these are the right cameras.
I think it's Brian. I think it's Brian's jacks.
Yeah,
I think it's
you're right. Because
on the
they're
left.
on the side of the
The
deck.
dealer's left would be Rob's fives.
Yeah.
So Brian really thought about that, unless we were misreading the action. But yeah, I like when the dealers just kind of run it here. I don't really like the count when it's clearly somebody's way ahead. But then again, I'm used to playing blind levels that are 15 minutes, 20 minutes long, and I'm like, I don't want to spend 2 minutes counting it if we don't need to.
Yeah. Brian may have done this just because one of our sponsors is PocketFives.com.
This is a big.
No, it's Brian's jacks.
This might be a, this might be a 700, 800K pot here. I think Mr. Soja could make the comeback complete here.
Yeah. We got some chips now.
Yeah. I think Rob might still be over 1 million chips, but that's a pretty big dent. He might have been like 1.5 million.
Stuck a buck on Twitch just told us that Brian raised and Rob shipped.
Oh, is that okay? But it looked like that's what I thought. But I thought Brian was waiting on.
Brian
that.
actually told us a few hands ago that he raised pre-flop and Gus defended. We want to pay attention to the chat and Twitch.
Yeah, sorry.
We asked people to talk to us, and then.
Well, I thought Brian opened and Rob raised, or Rob shipped. That's what I thought was happening. Brian was taking a while to make a decision. That's why I was confused. But he must have not felt great about his jacks in that spot.
Looking at the prize pool, the next person out's gonna gonna lose out on 450.
Yeah,
basically.
450. It becomes.
And Gus is pretty short.
Yeah. So some ICM.
Well, Crystal's fairly short as well. I mean, at this point, Rob and Brian don't want to play pots with each other at all.
Yeah.
But you guess 1 or 2 more names for a 4A kill. 1 or 2 more names for 4A kill. We can open
And
a
Gus,
game.
the heat's really on Gus. He's pretty short here. He's about at 200,000.
I mean, the heat's on, but it also takes a little bit of the pressure off too, right? When you know you're kind of the short.
Yeah. He should be shipping every hand.
Every hand, right?
He
Small
should
blind
be,
here, you just ship.
Pretend to look at your cards and then get it in there.
Is he gonna just limp here? I'm not sure he did. Maybe a min raise or something. 110 maybe.
Yeah. Well, they're at 30-60 now.
Oh, it's 30-60. Okay, so that's just
change the blinds here.
Yeah, I think it was just more like a min raise and the Crystal coming along here. This little stop and go here. I mean, is that what we're doing? Maybe. I mean,
sometimes you just want to see a flop.
Yeah. Interesting to see how he did check the flop here.
That's a 10,000 ante too, which I mean, with that bigger ante in there, you really got to get it in there.
He must not have hit. I'm curious what he shows here, but I don't. It's a nice play by Crystal. This completes the blind and gets the check, show some weakness, and fire at the small stack. Yeah, I think she's playing well. So just too busy stacking chips to do anything else.
Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do there.
How about him? 25,000 chips. Now he's he might be the chip leader even.
I don't think he's the chip. I don't think he's quite got Rob covered, but he's got a lot of chips. It's close.
It's about 3.5 million in play, I think, and.
Brian just told us on Twitch in the chat, his quote, I raised, Rob shipped. I just made a big laydown to Rob, and I mentioned that to him to get a reaction. His answer told me I was ahead.
Oh, interesting.
So
okay.
He was curious if he should lay down his jacks, and he talked to Rob for a minute and decided, nope, he was ahead.
I love the chatter on the river. I feel like that's something I love to do, and I know they kind of shut you down here quite a bit. Is that different in Vegas? Do you have more latitude to chat? I mean, because they really shut you down here. I mean,
it varies from room to room and dealer to dealer.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a little more chance to chat in Vegas, but
Thanks, you guys, for opening up my 240 kill, table number 12 for YL, Chris J,
with bigger
C,
buy-ins,
Gary A, Bob,
don't get
Kale,
to talk to
Brandon 40 kill.
So I love the chat.
Kale, Bob, Gary A, C, Chris J, and YL, table number 12.
Part of that is I process as I'm out loud. That's how I love to process. And I'm starting to think, wow, would he do that with King Queen? Would he do that with King Jack? I know, but like when it's an all-in, I'm in a situation there, and I'm probably giving away
so much information about how you play.
It's more just questioning him, like, would you do that with King Queen, Queen Jack, whatever? But I do sort of process that way.
Then you're giving away information about the fact that you think about ranges and all those kinds
True.
of...
How dang it, Fox.
You
need to just follow me around and say, stop, like beat me, like buzz me, like stop it.
I do it too. I do all these mistakes that I point out are because I know that I make them too. Simple things like not paying attention to people's stack size closely enough, and then having to ask what someone's stack is. In bigger buy-ins, if they don't know who you are, and you sit down and then you're thinking about a decision and you ask what somebody's stack is, everybody at the table looks at you, thinks about why you're asking that and what that means about what you're doing. Whereas if you don't have to ask that and you just say, I'm all in, they don't know if you know what the stacks are, why you did what you did.
Okay.
It can really... And then think about, like, that tiny thing and how much that compounds when you're talking, when you sit there and talk about ranges and all the things that you're doing.
Yeah.
Eventually, that's a thing that you want to stop doing if you're moving up to higher limits, because people put a lot of read on you from that.
Usually they're fairly strong, but they don't have the nuts for sure. They're not super weak and speculative. They're not just trying to take advantage of you. You're thinking in tens, jacks.
Just can't figure out where to put Kristen's name. That's perfect.
By the way, Brian Soja, the way he just told us about what was going on in the hand, that's what we like to see here. Players telling us what their thoughts were. That's something that we haven't seen in other poker broadcasts. You see them move all in, but you don't know what they were thinking. And those reads are really important to most poker players.
Yeah, that was really good insight. That was super helpful. Yeah, some of the stakes that I play, it's a very different sort of deal. People will tell you much more than they will at your levels and stuff too. But like, I played the, I had a chance actually to win the Six Max here, whatever, the $200 buy-in. And one of the biggest hands that put me over the top was, I had a straight, but the board was like super scary, just awfully scary sort of board. And the guy was chatting me up a little bit, and they were letting it go a little bit. So I was asking him questions and that sort of thing. And ultimately, he just said, "If you fold, I'll show you." And to me, that was the death sentence for him. You know that. Why would you just say anything that would encourage me to fold?
Yeah, volunteering that is not good.
Yeah, and so I did call and I won the pot, and I think that's one of those things where I'm sure I make that mistake talking too much too, but you do have to be careful with some of those things, and what are you trying to accomplish with your speech play?
Brian is finally done stacking chips.
He's finished. I think
now I think he has the chip lead because Rob lost some of his green chips.
Yeah. Do you think in all of Minnesota, Brian Soja is the best chip stacker?
Boy, I don't know.
I'm trying to get him to react on the camera.
It's surprising that he's so good at it because he does it so rarely.
Yeah, well, he probably practices at home, don't you think? Like, How would I stack these if I had these chips?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
He's a dealer here, so he stacks chips for other people fairly often.
That's
as well.
true.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. But yeah, he's a fantastic chip stacker. I'm super impressed. How about Gus? I mean, he's really bleak now, but I mean, he's managed to navigate his way to $1,000 here.
He's got about what Brian had when he started,
Started his run
an hour ago.
That's true.
He can't fold anything here.
But
you got to get it in the
right.
too.
He made himself $1,000 here by surviving.
Yeah.
And there's a time and a place
So
for that.
far.
So far, right? Exactly. He's guaranteed himself $1,000.
Yeah.
Did Crystal make the call here? There's Brian Soja giving us the thumbs up, probably about how good of a stacking job he's done.
Absolutely.
That is. We apparently are getting some hidden signals here from Brian Soja.
I think Brian just read Crystal's pants.
Another hint into what they might say. Okay. All right. So did Rob get in here too, or are they?
I can't. I saw multiple people put chips in. I can't tell if Rob has the cards.
Yeah, I can't.
Paul R.
It looks like he's still pretty engaged in the pod here.
Yeah.
Joe, 3-6 kill.
Looks like Brian's going to lead out into this on that flop.
He's going to offer some protection. Rob does have cards.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he's got Crystal behind him too to consider what she might be doing here.
Well,
Interesting. Big.
You have to figure Brian has something to lead here. I might steal, but
because there's no side pot here at this point.
Yeah. Well, no, there is a significant.
Was there a side? Oh yeah.
Gus
Okay.
only had
Yeah.
20,000.
Yep.
There is a small side pot compared to their stacks, but it's bigger than it's as big as the main probably.
Did Rob re-raise here, or is he just?
I don't see how.
Oh, Crystal's in here too.
Wow, everybody's playing.
I think it went raise, re-raise, call here.
I think it was. Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Oh, I guess it must have been back call. Yeah. Now what does Brian do here? Interesting. You lead out and you get two callers.
You better have a hell of a hand to bet.
Interesting. It looks like he's going to continue. I suppose he could potentially hear us, so we should be a little careful, I suppose. But
well, we're about a minute behind.
Oh, there's something. Okay.
That's why you saw
the
reaction to him.
That's why I saw his middle finger a little bit later than.
Yeah, he was talking to me, and that was about a minute or two late. When we do the bigger buy-in tournaments, we're gonna either we'll talk to the casino and talk to players and kind of decide what they prefer, but we can either do like a 5-minute delay, or we can tell the players that they can't have the headphones.
Oh, right.
Because they can't see what we're saying if they're just looking at Twitch. And I don't mind if they look at Twitch; they're just looking at the overhead view of themselves.
Right.
They're not going to learn anything there.
Yeah, right.
But they can. But we don't want them to hear us and have bad advice from us.
Well, we got the pot of the tournament brewing here.
Yeah.
This is a big pot.
Crystal's thinking about it.
She is. I don't want to say anything about what she potentially could have here, but this is a tough hold for her. I wonder if that's a big draw or something. I don't know, but tough hold for her. We'll watch her reaction on the river and see if she's happy or sad.
Doesn't look like that.
It doesn't look like that was in her card, no.
Not much of that would have hit.
Oh, Brian, it's a lot of pressure here, right? When you bet twice and get called.
I think Brian
They're just going to check. They both have
some.
some. No, he just laid it down.
Just didn't hit.
I think he just blocked.
He put his cards over.
I hope so.
He has to. They're all in.
No, all on the call, yeah. Gus is out, so we know that. Looks like maybe Rob.
Gus is out.
When you just call twice, that's
Chipping to Rob here. Wow, that's a big pair.
8s and 4s. Rob flopped 2 pair with 8s and 4s.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow. Gus, nice tournament, man.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah, thanks for playing too. And then there was 3.
Yeah. What did Brian
It looked like he had ace 10. And Rob flopped 2
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. And make sure you space in front of him.
the big one, Ron.
Brian with the Reg Charity patch on.
Yeah, I don't know if
I've worn that one a few times. I have one on my suitcase.
Yeah.
Didn't know which side was up on my suitcase. The Reg Charity patch on.
That's a nice little tell, yeah. That's some nice tweets coming in from everybody too. All the people that played and supporting All In for Africa and stuff. So thanks for everybody that's doing that.
Notice 2 of the 3 players at the final table have Next Level Poker hats.
I've noticed. I
That's
didn't know.
not a coincidence.
Oh, is
They're
Rob's a
lucky
Next
hats.
Level Poker? Is it?
No, but
Oh, 2 of
Brian's
it. Yeah.
Crystals.
Yeah.
2 of the 3 players.
1 minute remaining on this level.
Wow. Then there was 3. So what? I mean, strategically now, what? You know, when you start thinking about your ranges, you start thinking about the playing now, and you got 3-handed play. We only got, you're on the button or you're in the blinds. That's it. I mean, what sort of considerations are you going through your mind now? Just ranges opening wider, and, or what sort of things? You go from 5 to 4 to 3.
It depends on stacks. When you get down to 3-handed, it's really stack size. You should know a lot about your opponents by now. You've had a lot of time playing with these people. Some of it short-handed. In an intense situation, you should be studying them and know a lot about them. That'll tell you a lot about how to play. Are they nervous now, or are they going to keep fighting? If they're nervous, how are they going to behave? If they're not, are you worried about them playing back at you a lot? Are they going to fold when you play back at them?
End of round. Dealers complete the hands you are on.
You don't want to get to
Increase the
short-handed,
blinds and limits.
or you don't want to get to heads up with no chips. And when you once you're down to 3-handed, that matters. That starts to matter. So, but a lot of times, the hands play themselves. I mean, you don't play 3-handed for a long time in a tournament like this. So really, the hands play themselves a lot of the time. You just have to make sure that you don't make the one big dumb mistake.
Crystal opened up here, it looks like.
Yep.
So again, it's not so much. I mean, because some people say, well, now you got to open your range, and it's all sort of pre-packaged. But it's still adjusting to your opponents. It's adjusting to the stack size situation. It's still about you're playing poker against somebody and what's their tendencies.
Absolutely. Still paying attention to your opponents and thinking about how to attack their tendencies. Yep.
So I don't know if Rob just completed the blind here and then Crystal raised it to the big blind, maybe. Looks like we're going to get a call here from Rob.
Attention guys, we do a professional massage therapist in the building, a professional masseuse. If you are interested in getting a massage, Gail, I'll send her over.
Putting a 4 and an 8 out on the flop's a little needle from the poker gods to Brian. I think that's cruel.
A reminder, yeah.
But Brian's not in this one.
So this is typically a flop, maybe not 3-handed, but what you would see sort of go check raise on or check bet on in the situation where Crystal is a pre-flop raiser. But it looks like Rob's going to actually take a shot here, lead out right into Crystal. Something we've seen Crystal do quite a bit here at the final table.
When you're playing with stacks like these, you kind of think about how you want the hand to play out against various ranges. And in this case, if you can get information about the hands that he's facing here and get him the right things to happen. If he has 2 diamonds here, he loves a fold, but if she ships, he's probably going to call.
Yeah.
He loves a fold. If the stacks are the right size, sometimes you want to check shove your 2 diamonds. If she's always going to bet, then you get some more money in the pot before you rip it in, and don't let her put pressure on you. So you think about you playing out the hand. How can I get all the chips in and have fold equity with the most money in the pot? And mix those things together.
And a lot of that's going to be that's stack size will be your opponent's tendency there too. So is that sort of him going through his mind? Do I think she's the type to just check behind if she doesn't have anything, or is she the type to continuation? Right, so maybe in that spot he's thinking, well, she's maybe the type to.
But if he has a hand like a 6 on the King 6-5 board, and he wants to know where he's at, that might be be totally different. Whereas if she's always going to continuation bet, do I want to deal with that big a pot and check raising with just a 6?
Yeah. Okay. So it looks like Rob's looks like he's over 2 million maybe. What are those stacks of 500,000?
Yeah, he's over 2 million.
About 2 million out of our 3.5 or so that we have in play. About 3.4 we have in play, so Rob's got 2/3 of the chips.
For Rob.
So interesting spot here for Crystal and Brian, right? I mean, they both want to ladder up.
Yeah.
Because now you're talking about, $750 or $800.
And ICM becomes very important now for them, for the two of them.
So great spot for Rob, right?
Because the likelihood that either of them is going to win the tournament has gone way down.
Right.
And so you're really fighting for second place most of the time.
Yep.
And you don't want to tangle with somebody, So in many cases, we'll leave Crystal in a better position. Because when she's in the pot, Brian can't get in the pot unless he's going to really be serious about it, unless he's got a real hand. She can ship and play short stack bully and kind of push Brian and Rob around a little bit. I mean, Rob's not going to be easy to push around with that smaller stack.
Right.
He's not going to call it off with nothing just for fun. He doesn't mind if they play three-handed a little bit. He steals from them a bunch of times. So if I'm in his position, I want to keep it three-handed and rob them,
right?
Almost to death before we get the heads up.
There he goes.
Here comes Brian.
Brian's all in. So Crystal folded, and Brian's got to ship a big part of his range here because he's in the spot that he is.
Right.
If things were reversed with him and Crystal, then he could play a little different. He should be in here very wide.
Well, I was going to say that's one of the things that I've done when I've been able to make the final three and have a big stack where you actually don't want somebody to bust in a lot of the situations. So a situation like this, it's almost tempting to fold because you almost want them to continue to play fairly even stacks short because you can just steal from them so constantly versus taking a risk of doubling up. I mean, I found it seems like there's more value in just letting them fight it out for second. But let's see here. We do got an all in a call.
You got Brian had 9-4 of hearts and he's up against King Deuce of clubs.
Well, let's see what we got. Oh, he's going to move it here. King 4 of clubs.
So that's bad shape. And the 4 comes.
There's a 4, but that doesn't matter, right? The King.
Brian's out.
That's nice run, Mr. Soja. Nice job.
A little commentary from him.
And the rich get richer. So that'll probably be it for me. So you're going to be hearing from Brian Soja. But thanks for letting me hang out. No, it's fun. We'll let Brian get in here.
Brian is inviting you to keep doing it.
Well, he'll have a lot to say. We'll let him sneak in there. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'll give him a minute to see if he wants to go throw a chair first.
But a great run, though. Wow, nice job. Well, look at this now. So we're heads up for the title. The All In for Africa Championship is on the line. Crystal's got work to do here.
We were excited that Crystal said she was sick of seeing all the Facebook posts about people shopping at running aces.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what she does.
Yeah.
We were happy that we heard that. This time we'll actually get to see a final table.
Right.
Run a broadcast.
Yeah, and we always play out, All In for Africa, we always play at the final table because we're playing for a trophy, but usually it does chop and then they play for a little bit. But this is nice to actually see it go all the way through here. Yeah. And I'm excited for her, man. She said something about there should be a prize for the last woman standing, but she should just win the thing.
Then there's a prize.
Forget the last woman standing, forget the last man standing, just win the thing, right?
She's already got the 2250 locked up as a prize for last woman standing.
Great job for her. And Rob, Rob's just been solid, it seems like. Just solid.
He's had hands when he needs them.
Yeah.
He's been willing to get it in against his opponent's ranges.
So you've liked you've liked the call with the King 4, you like all
easy call with the
Easy call, because it's
Brian's
franchise.
shipping 100%.
And it's a big, you're way ahead of
You're
average.
ahead of a random hand, because that's what you're facing.
Yeah. So that's a pretty big hand, actually, in that spot,
Yeah, you love that spot.
Yeah.
Probably a 60-40 favorite against his range and so much extra money in the pot.
Yeah.
If anybody can build their way back, I think she can. She's pretty fiery.
She's willing to put him in here. I'd like to see her make this interesting.
With about 300,000, she should be shipping most of her range here. Must have had a really bad hand.
So 4
Looks
bigs.
like he had a real hand. He showed her.
This is a tough spot. I mean, I've been in this spot so many times. You should be shipping it, but you look down at 7-4 or whatever option, and
Don't look.
I know you should just ship it, but it's still like
pretend to look.
It's just putrid. It's just putrid, right? And you keep thinking it'll be a better spot, but in the meantime, you've lost another 10 or 50,000 chips.
Yeah.
Off your blinds and hands. So, so small blind here. She just goes right. Any two here, you'd say. Oh, he shipped on her. Wow.
Yeah, she could fold bad hands here. At 40,000, 80,000, she maybe has.
He was on the button in the small blind there. Yeah.
She maybe has close to 200,000, 180,000 maybe.
And now she's putting in 80 for the big plus the ante. So she's putting in 90 here.
She's on the button now, so she's putting in 40 for the small.
Oh, there we go. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry.
She should be shipping it.
Yeah.
Maybe any two here. Certainly very wide. She might have shipped without looking. Definitely.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, all on the call
Ace
here.
four
Ace
diamonds
4. And
against the pair of sevens.
he's got 7s.
Wow.
Rob picked up 7s here.
That could be it.
Yep, this looks like it might be it. Oh, no, ace or a 5.
Ace or a 5.
Bink!
Ace.
There it is. Maybe you get the double hands in the air.
And there's much rejoicing.
Good for her. Just when he thinks it's going to happen. He could taste it. One card away, they get the old Barry Greenstein, right?
Yeah.
The old ace on the river. Oh, that one looks like that might be Twitter worthy here. She looks like she's gonna. Good for her.
That's the strangest poker book I've ever read.
I've never read it even.
Barry
Is it
Greenstein's Ace.
bad or just weird? What do you
No,
mean?
It's not bad, but it's very odd. Barry's a little odd.
Oh, is that right?
Set you guys for earlier. I'm going to do 2 to 100 on table 8 for Dom, Tony, BMW, Singh, Sam T, Jennifer, and XA. Dom, CY.
There's a chapter in Barry Greenstein's Ace on the River called Poker Players and Sex.
Do 2 to 100 on
Was that
table
right?
8.
And you don't really want to hear Barry Greenstein talk about sex. But it's interesting. There's not a lot of strategy in the book in terms of chalkboard stuff. It's a lot of tilt avoidance, very basic how to live as a professional poker player and survive, and how to behave, and there's a lot of, it's like everything except real
helpful
chalkboard
strategy.
stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And some of that stuff's pretty helpful. I think if you're gonna be a poker pro, there's more to
Dwayne
it than
for
strategy.
3-6 kill. Dwayne. Table number 2, Dwayne.
So would you recommend the book to a recreational player, or is there enough other options out there to?
Yeah, I mean, it should be the 10th poker book you read.
Okay, 10.
Or the 20th. But it is, if you're going to be a serious player, it is a book you should have.
So the number 1 on the list is you start with No Limits.
Yes.
By Wallace and Stemple.
Yep, that's a great book.
That's where that's probably number 1, 2, and 3.
It's 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
Then 2 is left intentionally blank. Which is at nolimitsbook.com.
Nice.
Buy copies of it, or you can get it on Amazon, or you can buy a copy from me out of the trunk of my car. But it really depends on what you're playing.
Oh, we got some big hands here.
Yeah.
King Jack and Queen Jack, and I think
Queen Jack is Crystal. I think.
Yeah, I think Crystal's got Queen Jack. She needs some help here.
So she
Queen or at
needs
10.
Queen or a 10.
Or Jack. No, Jack's no good. And that's it. I think that is it. We have our champion. Thanks for letting me hang out with you, man.
Why don't you, when you get the trophy out, throw it on the table for us so people can see it.
Right in front of the dealer there?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have our prize pool up on the right. Rob Meyer is our champion. We're gonna have we have the All In for Africa trophy now on the felt, AIFA logo. They raised 151 players, almost 300 total entries, rebuys and add-ons. 60% of the money went to charity, but there was an extra 11,000 donated to the prize pool in the form of bounties. So it's a great shot of the board and the cards. So 60% of the money went to charity, which raised $18,240 for the Against Malaria Foundation, which is going to buy thousands and thousands of mosquito nets to prevent malaria in Africa. So really an amazingly effective charity in terms of how much better lives people can lead for such a long period of time for such a small amount of money. It's a very effective thing, and that's what groups like Against Malaria do, and Raising for Effective Giving, and the All In for Africa tournament, which does amazing charity work. My co-host for most of the day, Steve Fredlin, runs All In for Africa. You can follow All In for Africa at Twitter, at All In for Africa. You see them there on the left-hand corner of your screen. You can follow us at NL Poker. Next Level Poker did the broadcast here, and that's nextlevel.poker. You can find out about we have an event coming in the Midwest in
Not tonight.
November. We're doing very different things with poker and with broadcasting. This broadcast will improve and change over time. But this was just a taste of what we can do with what we have had built for our broadcast. We're going to be able to do some pretty amazing things here. I love that AIFA trophy laying on the felt. They're cleaning up and getting ready to roll here. For All in Africa number 7, for my co-hosts, Brian Soja, who wasn't a co-host at all, Jordan Handrich was co-producer, Steve Fredland, and our tech guy Tim, who was awesome today. Thanks everybody. Come see us at nextlevel.poker or at nextlevel or at NLPoker on Twitter. Thanks to Running Aces for running this thing. Running Aces donates a lot of time and donated a lot of money to the prize pool, a lot of lammers. Next Thursday, 4 days from now, will be the Hawaii tournament for All for Africa. It's a $10,000 package that includes first-class airfare to Hawaii, $100 a day spa credit, and a hotel. It's a $10,000 value package. That's the real deal. Trip to Hawaii. Buy-in is $125. Running Aces has also donated a bunch of lammers. So be here Thursday evening. You can find out about that at runaces.com, or you can follow them on Twitter at runaces. All the Twitter accounts are scrolling in the bottom left. Congratulations to all our winners and to our champion, Rob Meyer. I'm signing off. Chris Wallace from Next Level Poker. Have a good night, folks. Thanks for listening.